Hey everyone, George here, the Disney Family Man, coming to you with another video. And today I have some breaking news that I think caught everybody by storm, to say the least. Well, kind of going back a little bit, that Disney had released an official statement that on June 15th, which is today, during the time of this recording, that Walt Disney World would be removing its mask mandate completely. Indoors, outdoors, in queue lines for rides and attractions, in restaurants, in shops and stores and stuff like that. And which it was all, kind of all over social media that that's what it was going to be. June 15th was going to be the day that everything was going to, be lifted at Walt Disney World. Well, it was just released today as well that Disneyland is removing their mask mandate for the same as with Walt Disney World, with the indoor, the outdoor, at the stores, at the restaurants, at rides and attractions and what have you. So Disney kind of threw us a major curveball that it wasn't just with Walt Disney World, but also with Disneyland as well. And I kind of got to thinking as to, was this Disney's approach all along, that they were waiting to see what day was kind of harmonious for both resorts? Because CEO Bob Chapek had mentioned that at some point in time he wanted both Walt Disney World and Disneyland to be on the same page as far as what is the park operations go, as far as the reopening after the major shutdown and what have you. But I find it very interesting because Walt Disney World reopened on July 11th of last year, and Disneyland just currently reopened on April 30th. So I mean, there was a major time frame where Walt Disney World was open for a long period of time, as opposed to when Disneyland was not. And you would think that at the time when Disneyland reopened, they would have to play catch up to Walt Disney World. But apparently, I guess just with everything of how things were going, as far as everyone being vaccinated and with the social distancing and everyone doing their part, to try to make this a better new normal, sort of speak, of getting back to our regular normal, that it kind of pushed Disneyland up to the same pace as Walt Disney World, even though it took a year's worth for Walt Disney World and only took a couple months for Disneyland. So I thought that was very, kind of interesting. My take on it is, as I said before, Chapek wanted both resorts to be kind of on the same page. So you wouldn't be going to Walt Disney World and everything's lifted, and then for someone going to Disneyland, you have the mask mandate, you have to social distance. I don't think he really wanted it that way. So I think it was to a point where, which date would it be when both counties or both states or what have you have the least amount of cases as far as what the virus goes, as far as what is the percentage-wise of what could be opened and what could not be. So I think, once they actually sat down and crunched the numbers, that June 15th was the appropriate date. And I think Disney already had that kind of put aside. We didn't know that, but they did. And that's what I appreciate of Disney, is that anytime that you think that they don't know really what they're doing, or you're questioning the fact of what they're doing, they're already not one or two, they are 10 steps ahead of us. So, they always look into the future as far as like how to manage things, how to operate things. And, they like to really like sit down and break it down of saying, where would we like to be during this time? And at this point, we would like to be here. So Disney is very good and very on top of things when it comes to that notion. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if that's actually what went on behind closed doors at the meetings of the Walt Disney Company and, for the Parks and Resorts division of the company as well. But that's just my thought, because, I mean, lightning doesn't strike twice. Well, I guess it could in a sense, but I mean, if just using a terminology type of notion that, you try to see if you could strike that lightning in a bottle twice, but sometimes it may not. Um, so to actually have it set for the same day as Walt Disney World was surprising, but not a coincidence. So that's just my take on it. So as of right now, June 15th, at the time that I'm recording this video, that both uh, domestic Disney resorts, the Walt Disney World Resort and the Disneyland Resort, are completely free of the mask mandate and the social distancing and what have you. So anyone who is planning a trip to Walt Disney World or Disneyland moving thus far, you will not have to worry about any sort of mask mandate or what have you, as long as you are fully vaccinated. Now, that was in the terms of agreement, that you must be fully vaccinated to be able to remove. It's not just a free for all and everyone goes in. They're more so doing it of the honor system, and that could be kind of a tricky thing. That as far as who is actually being honest and who is not, you basically just have to kind of go through the motions. And if you are still not comfortable with going without a mask, then you are still allowed to keep your mask on, so it's completely up to you. But as far as right now, they're stating for fully vaccinated people. Now, when it comes time for children, that's where you kind of have that yellow and red tape, because right now they have started the trials for young children. They had just passed it as far as being the early as 12 years old for the Pfizer vaccine, not for the Moderna or the Johnson & Johnson, only the Pfizer as of right now. And it's only going to 12. And I do believe that they've started the trials for 5 to 11. Nothing has come out so far from the CDC, but that's what they're working on now. But in the meantime, automatically people are going to know if all children are going to be walking around the parks, they're not vaccinated. So how is Disney and its cast members going to approach this notion? Because you have to also think at the same time, up to this point, as far as what I've understood, coming from the CDC, that children was not the main sole cause of spreading the virus. Children really weren't the main focus as far as, trying to get a grip on the virus itself. So now coming to this point of saying that, now if you're not vaccinated, which, to no fault of no one, to anybody, to the children, to the parents, they may just not be able to get vaccinated, that to go on a Disney vacation, a family vacation, a vacation to take your children to as a possibly a once in a lifetime moment, that if you're vaccinated, which is great, you're allowed to walk through the parks and enjoy the parks as what they are meant to be, but your children are not. So it's kind of like a rough double-edged sword sort of thing, like how, and I feel bad for the cast members because they are stuck in the middle of this predicament, because they have to follow the guidelines from Disney, from the CDC, from the state, what have you. But at the same time, that I know it's so easy to say, well, then just wait until your child is vaccinated, or, just hold your trip off. But sometimes that's easier said than done. You spend a lot of time planning a vacation and you have to take off of work. You possibly may have to change schedules as far as their children with school or what have you, if that's the best time that you have to go. And to just throw all that out the door to say, okay, well, we can't go because of this, this, and this, and a lot of times, especially now with Disney, you can't just change in a click of a finger. If you have theme park reservations and the reservation pass, and you have dining reservations, you can't just change it with a click of a finger and expect to get everything that you had booked and it's going to be open. because I actually have another video coming up soon about my latest dining reservations that I did for two restaurants reopening, which I'll get into that in another video, which you'll see later on. But so yeah, it's just a kind of iffy situation that, you know, how do you go and approach this notion of that you're lifting the mandate, but yet at the same time there are still guidelines that they're expected of people to follow when it's proclaiming to young children. And to me, you have to kind of do what you have to do, but at the same time, it's, I really don't understand how you can literally look a child in the eye, and especially because with Disney, they are asking for 2 years and up. They are asking for 2-year-olds to wear a mask over the nose and mouth for the summertime, June, July, August, in the summer weather down in Florida. And I just don't understand how that's going to go. And, you already have children who are, throwing tantrums, getting overheated, and you're going to have them subdued to wear a mask, and they get to see mommy and daddy not wear a mask to no fault of their own because they are 2 years old. They can't get the vaccine yet, but mommy and daddy did, so they can go without the mask. Now, I do know a lot of parents that would say, you know what, if my child can't wear it, well, neither can I. Well, depending on how long that can go, then what was the whole point of you getting the vaccine anyway? Because that was the whole point, for us to be able to go back to a normalcy to say, we got the vaccine, let's move on. So how can we move on if things are still set in place that is holding us back? And that's more so, and I'm not downing one way or the other. I am not for one way or the other. It's more so just giving my opinion of an overall stance to say, what is each person's opinion on it? And that's more so what I'm asking. What are your opinions? Do you agree with the notion with children still, needing to wear masks as far as the unvaccinated go? Because, it was even coming from the CDC. Now, from the very beginning, they said, follow the CDC guidelines. Well, this is coming from the director of the CDC, is that fully vaccinated people can go without masks. And unvaccinated people should strongly wear masks, but if they choose not to wear the mask, that's their prerogative, and the vaccinated people are still covered by the vaccine. Those aren't my words. That is coming from the director of the CDC herself. I'm just saying what she said. So, and I do know that each individual company can, decide whether or not what they want to do. And I have a whole other opinion on that as well. But at the same time, you have to respect each company for what it's worth. So how do you micromanage that notion of saying, what is right and what is wrong, what is best for the company, So that's my own personal take on it. I personally feel that I don't feel that children are the higher risk of spreading this. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I truly feel that I get as far as with, you have to be vaccinated. But in all actuality, when you say, as in an honor system, do you really honestly think everyone that's stepping foot through those gates, through those turnstiles, is telling the truth and every single one of those people are vaccinated? So let me know what you guys think. I would really like to know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. No hard feelings. I love these kind of discussions. It's a great conversation piece. It's a great debate. I think that we should be able to do this without, having feelings being hurt, without, it's, you can have the conversation, but just be kind. That's all I ask. That's all it has to be. And please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, stay Disney. Oh, and before I go, really quick, on June 15th, uh, Disneyland had made the notion of opening to non-Californian residents. That's all it was going to be, and then they added more to it. That it's not just going to be non-California residents, but also no mandates for fully vaccinated people, along with Walt Disney World. I meant to add that into the video, and I completely forgot about it until the very end. So, as I was saying before, stay healthy, stay safe, stay Disney. Bye, everybody.